just do this, and let's see if you can hear me. If you can hear me. Okay, before we go, we've got the channel here. I've taken this video reacting to this. It's from my ANC. So if you want to watch without me showing my face there, you can go and watch that on the ANC. Okay. I don't know, guys. I can't hear there. Oh, okay. I think I'm good. Before we go, all right. Got the channel here. I've taken this video reacting to this. It's from my ANC. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. What's going on now? I think we're good. 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 We are reacting to the Mr. Mbalula, which is the interview with Mr. Ndlozi. With Mr. Ndlozi here. And then we will see how was the interview. All right. Thank you, guys. Welcome again. Welcome. We are streaming. And please, if you get to this video, please, ladies and gentlemen, just like the video, like the stream. I would appreciate all of that. And also, if you can see on your comment there, when you look on your comment down there, you will see there is a dollar there sign. If you want to just send super sticker, super chat, super whatever membership gifting, you can just click all of that. And I don't know how much is it. Let me just test here. Super sticker, it's 35 rand. I need to bring that down. Okay, I need to bring that down. But I tried. I need to bring that down though. But if you are interested in that, you can just go and actually do what you need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Let's get into it and let's just listen to Mr. Mbalula here. He's going to be interviewed. Oh, I think I'm repeating that. Let's get into the video. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
Trinity, because he held 3 positions because they were vacant. That's the man you can refer to as the inheritor of Mahashule's vacancy. So we inherited a position. And then secondly, I think in terms of your question, the main issue is the reputational damage the ANC suffered in a period of 10 years after Pulugwani conference. That's what we suffered, and the subjective factors that goes with that is lack of discipline, the collapse of the political center in terms of the organization, and overall lack of discipline and so on, and the battered image of the African National Congress as a party for sins of incumbency, for things that the party did not do, but those who were mandated by the party to lead in government got to do, and they inflicted pain in the reputation of the African National Congress. And that's one part that we're to deal with. As secondly, inward looking, the ideological of the ANC in relation to its membership, cadership, and those who are at the helm of the organization in terms of consciousness collapse. So this is what renewal had to deal with. The third part is the part of how the ANC as a party carries itself as an organization to imbue society with new, fresh ideas and hope at all material times. So those are the 3 things that when we come in, both subjective and objective, we have to deal with.
And would you say in any of them there has been considerable improvement?
Yes, there's been considerable improvement. We've got a long way to go because, like Joel Nechitenze, if you have to quote him, he says that old habits die hard. Those who stand not to benefit from renewal will not let go without a fight. That's Joel Nechitenze, not me, quote unquote. So if you were to touch somebody, even your friend, and so on, because of these old habits that have brought and inflicted pain to the party in terms of reputational damage, the question will be solidarity among the wounded. They will come around. When we have to act, it will always be difficult to basically act, but eventually the party will get there. So that is very difficult. The stain that we have suffered as a result of the external incumbency, sense of incumbency, challenges we have inherited in the democratic state of corruption, civil service, and all of that is corrupt, the mix of that. That is difficult to go. So these are some of the challenges. Discipline, we are dealing with that, and membership is responding, not just with constitutionalism of the ANC, like telling people you'll be taken to the DC, but you will never see anyone anymore going to court to support corrupt, implicated leaders. You will never see that anymore in the ANC. So it means members now begin to understand that if somebody is arrested and been prosecuted for things that involve corruption, we shouldn't take ourselves there in support of this person. They must stand on their own. We have introduced Step Aside. It is working in the party. It has helped us a great deal to allow members to deal with the challenges that they face, on accusations that they face, to step aside and deal with those particular challenges. It has helped the organization a great deal. Sense of incumbency, it's difficult because we get accused for something that is being done in government by a low-level corrupt supply chain management in a certain department and found to be corrupt, and that is blamed on the ANC through the tendering processes and all of that and so on. So that must be fought in a big way to extricate ourselves from this kind of image.
It's going to be, as you say, there's pushback from discipline. One of the theories that the former president always canvasses to the public is that there was a deliberate effort to infiltrate the ANC up to its highest level in the interest of weakening it, because this gigantic ANC that existed for about 20 years of democracy was so difficult to challenge from outside, oppositions and all of that. So they've had to infiltrate it, and this infiltration took a very long time. So when you are sitting in meetings, you are sitting with people whose objective of being in the ANC is to weaken it. I know that might mean you must purge, but through the disciplinary processes, in the highest echelons of the ANC, let's suppose these individuals are in the top 7, are in the NEC, how precisely do you envisage that you will be able to extricate yourself. If they hold very, very strong positions, and some of them may be precisely the positions that need an enforcing of discipline.
Let me be simple with you, Doctor. In the days of apartheid, our struggle was infiltrated. And then the enemy planted enemy agents and agent provocateurs in our ranks. And they were singing the same songs. And then they were wearing our T-shirts. They were the most militant, not afraid of the enemy, and yet they were in the payroll of the enemy. But we managed to find them because it was easy to identify somebody who comes from outside with a different culture and with ill intentions. And where they were found, we dealt with enemy agents and provocateurs. But they were there. In the period of freedom, where we have to open up our organization like that, tendencies of infiltration are not as clearly defined like enemy agents and comtsotsis and provocateurs, whom we will see provocateurs, we will say in the township, as quail. Comtsotsis will be chasing bakeries in order to give a bad image to our struggle internationally, that the ANC in South Africa is leading a struggle by targeting people in what we call soft targets. So they were just giving a bad reputation to our thing, to our struggle. Today, they operate from within. And that has been the long-term game plan that we have known. And that's why the name counter-revolution. So those tendencies have always been there. Doing an ANC things over a period of time. You know, things like today, the people who extort people in business, that pay 30% here if you want protection for your business to be safe in the township. You're building a third road here, a person have got a tender there. Those comtsotsis come there and demand 30% without doing anything. They are there in the system. And then by day, they are ANC. You see this person, very respectable person, is an ANC activist. By night, is extorting poor business people who have gotten their own tenders, doing business in the townships on their own right, because they've got the capacity. Bayazizama abantu bakathixo, abantu baseMzantsi Afrika. Comtsotsis will come there and extort 30% from them for protection. And these are thugs which have found easily their way into the challenge of mortgaging of the ANC that we talked about as early as 1996 when Kgalema Motlanthe delivered the organizational report. So quick to your answer, what do we do? The systems and the policies that you put in place, like renewal, like Joel said, if you enforce them, you run with them, they will fight them, but at the end of the day, we'll deal with them one by one, and they will define themselves outside the parameters of the organization.
But it seems to me that the party needs some form when it declared a renewal. It's been saying that for a while, but at some point it was as if it's putting a state of emergency situation that either we renew or we die. And I'll give very practical examples. What do you do? What really do you do with these characters that you are naming? Are we likely to see disciplinary actions against such characters where the party, because the party doesn't have to convict a person on the basis of beyond reasonable doubt. It has to do it on a balance of probabilities. in which case you just need circumstantial evidence. Now, I'll give you a very practical example, SG. The Minister of Police writes a letter December 31st, when you were busy preparing for your fireworks with your children, to disband, number one, a political task team, and says it must disband immediately. Two, freezes crime intelligence, the appointment of crime intelligence positions. You were a minister of police, you worked in the state. That's a blatant incident of police political interference. Cyril takes his action, very well and good. What has the ANC done? If the ANC is so serious about renewal, since December 31st, New Year, we are sitting here, the ANC, through its own mechanisms of renewal, Senzo seems to be still attending your NEC meetings, still in deployment, a person that on a balance of probabilities should have been held accountable of this action. Maybe it would have done an easy job for the head of state.
The ANC processes have kicked in since this matter has come to the public domain, and they are fully observed. Integrity Commission and all of that he explained himself there in terms of his actions. Once the Integrity Commission makes up its recommendations to the NEC, will then be able to take a decision. Should we have taken drastic steps to suspend anybody? Perhaps the ANC should move to that gear in the future, looking at these matters as they happen. But our own constitution, and as well as what we have adopted in terms of resolutions on the fight against corruption, as much as they are very harsh, they seem to be inadequate by day. And so we will have to deal with that in terms of strengthening our fight against corruption and wrongdoing. Because wrongdoing is not only confined to corruption, it can be wrongdoing of any form, including incompetence can lead to wrongdoing. And wrongdoing can be about many other things that must be weighed up, and the organization can take decisions in terms of what needs to happen. So, Doctor, what needs to happen is us strengthening our own resolve in terms of measures of intervention, but ANC processes immediately when such was reported have kicked in. So, and I'm sure by now the minister will have appeared before the Integrity Commission voluntarily or been convened. But in this instance, the report I got is that is doing it voluntarily to explain himself. And by the way,
would you agree that the pace with which you act in this case, and I'll introduce another dynamic in employment, doesn't seem to be responding to the urgency of how really difficult it is for the ANC at this stage, this project of renewal? I mean, if you are waiting for 6 months, 8 months to respond to a letter he has admitted he wrote, he doesn't say he didn't write it, and he doesn't see anything wrong with the fact that he told police, do not make appointments that are operational. This is an instance of clear political interference. If the pace of the movement that is trying to renew itself is such that since the New Year, no,
Doc, let me correct you. I see you want to put me in the ad hoc committee or Madlanga. And you will not be putting Mbalula, you put the ANC. Let me explain to you, Doc, and which is what the ANC supported and why. And first, any allegation must be tested in a competent court of law. That's one. In as far as allegations, how they affect the party image and reputation, they are subjected to integrity. It's not a disciplinary matter, it's an integrity question. And then when allegations are made, a process of how those allegations are dealt with set in motion, and which is what we supported. They have been tested. Now, I don't want to argue or not argue to respond to your question about what is operational and whether the minister erred, and we can come to a conclusion that he interfered. I will be doing what we said we won't do, giving a running commentary and putting ourselves in the commission. That's the question that the commission itself must probe. It cannot be us and all of that. And the second one is the allegation that the minister is not only surrounded, is in cahoots with cartels.
Yes.
But also, the commission must equally define these cartels. And we see these things now unfolding in the commission, reports being made by operatives and all of that. And with all the information which seem to be very scientific, should then lead us to the conclusion of whether or not the minister erred. So it's not like a straightforward question that it is reported, a letter was signed, and then the party must act. The key question is, the minister will have to explain, as a minister deployed by the ANC, competently so, whether my actions were justified, was it lawful, and that and that. And let me tell you, if it is found at the end that he acted unlawfully, and then there is overwhelming proof that indeed this minister was in cahoots with cartels and criminal elements and all of that, and so on, we wouldn't wait for anything else, but we will be called upon to act at that moment. In terms of integrity, there are two things that lead you in this matter. First, it's your conscience as an individual, leader, and a member, to say that this situation should actually happen with me
At home.
And then that's the question of
Now utamagadi bodyguard.
yes,
state.
no mamela. The second one is that you can be pushed, which then you can fight back legally and say that no, I am not supposed to be where I am because in terms of the following prescripts in law, I'm being treated unfairly. And he will win in that regard.
Let's leave Mkhunu SG. This, my concern is the pace. ANC's own efforts to jealously guard for its value system, not to be violated, not to be rubbished by ministers, by people in the administration who call themselves ANC members. Isn't it true that you are always acting so slow? Even with Zuma, you took until majority of your electoral gains were fundamentally mentally undermined before you acted on a man who said he's holding dual membership during the most contentious election in the life of the ANC? A former president of the ANC. You still took your time. It seems that the wheels to renew are slower than a snail.
No, Zuma was not a question of renewal, acting slowly. It was a question of an individual prone to litigation and how you deal with him in relation to that. And then the reality that if you join another party, our constitution is clear, you have dismissed yourself, which we maintained. But Zuma was doing it deliberately to bring a complexity to the ANC and a difficulty to dismiss it.
But it was ill-discipline.
Yeah, it was ill-discipline. Zuma, even now, I'm in court with Zuma. We are in court with Zuma about his membership. He says he's still a member of the ANC. And then now you will understand what we're dealing with. If you acted outside the prescripts of your constitution and you don't follow everything to the latter, he will go to court and win against you and restore his membership. We live in a democracy. We live in a country that is a country of a rule of law, and he will win there against the party. So your militant, very fast decision will not obtain in court. He will win because he will simply go to court and say, these people dismissed me even without following their due processes. And that is it. And yet, on the other hand, it was clear that by joining another party, you are dismissed. You have dismissed yourself. But the constitution also calls for somebody to be brought before the DC and all of that, because he maintained. And indeed, Jacob Zuma, when you went to his records and his branch, he was a member in good standing. He's not taking chances. He knew what he was doing. It's not like some other characters who claim membership, but they never renewed it and it actually collapsed. So it's easy to deal with that. So if Zuma's membership had collapsed, we wouldn't even be, not collapsed, lapsed. Yeah. We wouldn't even be arguing about his membership anywhere else. It will just be taken as such.
Okay, this is Power Talk, Bantwana Benkosi. We are still with the Secretary General of the ANC, Comrade Fikile Mbalula. We're going to go to the news. When we come back, we'll try to get the SG's views on the GNU and Donald Trump. So stay tuned to the news with Wonga.
No, we were running away. We were going into hiding in my township in Botshabelo. I was with Tsietsi Stoner and Zoli Lelobi. And then where we were sleeping, running away, our hideout, there was like a state of emergency. So there were soldiers everywhere in the street. And it was dark at night. And so we're knocking at the door at night, around, and then the woman inside was going to open for us. It was a lady. It was a student at our school. And so we're hiding at the place and home. And then they asked, who is it? I said, voter. and then because I couldn't say Fikile and so on, because these people were just looking
for you.
No, they were looking. And all of that. And so it sticked. But two, it became voter because from how I speak and galvanizing and mobilizing, you know, comrades then took it from the hideout to the streets. And that was it.
So let's go to the GNU. I'll come back to those circumstances. They're interesting to me for a different question around where you are today.
Yeah.
But has the NEC ever taken a decision that the government of national unity is not working for the ANC, specifically the DA, and that it ought to reconfigure the GNU, maybe go for a minority government, since the budget was passed along those lines? And if the ANC did take this decision, why has it not materialized?
The GNU is a very important, which must be studied when the ANC faced with the difficulty, why this decision was taken by the ANC. But to explain it to you, it's a tactical maneuver. And I'm not at liberty to explain thoroughly. But students and everybody else can analyze it, either for or against. Because the ANC was faced with a difficult situation of a 40% party, and you had to answer the strategic question: what do you do with your 40% in order to advance still the NDR, which has suffered what they characterize as a strategic setback? So GNU became the answer. There was no way minority government was going to safeguard us with this 60%, 40%. It will just lead us to total obliteration. If I can tell you that one leader of the opposition said, give the ANC the option of the minority government. They like blue lights and all of that. They will jump into it. And they were shocked. We didn't. Because to us, it has not always been about blue lights, which we could, and run government. The most important question was that the moment we are in have called for us to share power. And how are we going to share power, and with who? And therefore, we then open it up with everybody.
But ultimately,
because at the end, the principled stance of the ANC was people's interest at the end.
No, I'm not asking about initially.
Not people's interest only, but national interest.
No, I mean not initially. You have had problems with the DA. They are not small problems.
Yeah.
The DA is campaigning the GNU against the GNU. You have had these problems, the budget, several legislations that they are challenging. It is in cahoots, for instance, with forces in the US that seemingly are cooking regime change in South Africa in the Trump administration. You have a big problem called the Democratic Alliance. Hasn't the NEC said recently to look into this problem? What do we do? The DA left us hanging on the budget vote.
You've got to understand.
Have you decided?
Yeah.
And that's my question really. Hasn't the NEC recently taken a decision to reconfigure the GNU in favor of a minority government? Because in any way, when push comes to shove, you have had to use minorities.
There's no such. Reconfigure, there is nothing like reconfigure in favor of minority government. That will be disastrous for a party of 40%. It will be disastrous.
In what way? Because you passed the budget without the DA.
No, we didn't pass the budget without the DA. We passed the budget with the DA.
Initially, SG, they took you to court.
Yeah.
The budget was passed without
It
the
was
DA,
not.
MK,
It was
and
not the
EFF.
budget. It was the framework. From
Yes.
from the budget, you've got to move to appropriation.
Agreed.
If you didn't pass the appropriation bill, it will mean that government collapses.
But they didn't support you. They
What?
voted against the framework, what you are calling the
They
framework, the
voted against the
appropriation
framework.
bill.
They voted for the appropriation bill
In the
later
end.
on.
But-
And that is why
But the first one where they collapsed it in court or through court, you passed it in the House without them.
that was meaningless, Ndlozi. It's like claiming easy victories. The fact of the matter is that with 40%, that's what I'm characterizing, you cannot advance in reality whatever you used to without others. That is the fundamental
Minority
question.
government means you marshal enough political parties to be at 54, 53%. You got this percentage with Action SA that was willing to stand with you. You didn't need the massive numbers of this animal which is sabotaging you from within.
With Action SA and everybody else, we were not going to be able to pass the appropriation bill without the Democratic Alliance. And that is not the issue you are asking.
But
That is not
requires 50 plus 1%.
No, that is not the question you are asking, by the way. The question you are asking is, are we in cahoots with the DA and knowing very well what they stand for? We are not.
No. I'm asking if you have recently decided to
Yes.
reconfigure the GNU.
Yes, I was dealing with that. Reconfiguration means resetting the button.
Yes.
How do you deal with the challenges that you've got and within the GNU, and also avoid what nearly happened with the failure to pass the budget that could have led to the collapse of government? That is what reconfiguration means. In reality, what it means is that resetting the button, and at the same time, how do you still continue to safeguard power without gravitating to a complete collapse?
In terms of your
governance.
numbers on the floor, 50 plus 1%, which is a simple majority, is what you require for majority of those decisions in Parliament. With Action SA and stood with you, you don't need the DA. But maybe to advance it further, you mentioned recently that you went to the USA, and there in the USA there was a very strong view, which is similar to the recent campaign of the DA about black economic empowerment. The US administration, or some in the US administration, when you were there, pushed very strongly that you have to drop these policies. That's another instance of the Democratic Alliance. It's not just a South African dispute where South Africans are trying to figure out this or that policy. They are also working with a foreign power that is very powerful, and they're sitting with you inside cabinet. My question is, isn't resetting the button looking for someone other than a person with those characteristics?
We have acted on that. The president have acted on that, where a deputy minister goes outside from the DA without permission of the president. What he was doing there is something else. The question before us is that, how do you safeguard power with 40% in a government in which you don't have a majority? And that is what the ANC had to answer. And we had to look at national interest. How do you bring stability? Within 40 days, government was created. And it's a give and take. And so the over-exaggerated influence of the DA in the government of national unity, I think it's a matter that must also be examined carefully, because they are still in struggle, and they never came into GNU as a melting pot. They came in with their identity and their ideas. And when they come in, then they still meet transformation, of which they are anti-transformation inside. So that's the nature of our governance that we have now, but we still are able to have a stable government and things running properly. So we are not threatened by the DA, and we are confident that we will be in a position to do a whole lot of other things in this arrangement and working with others as well.
The US, your trip in the US, are you able to take us into confidence? What was the objective of your visit in the United States? Does South Africa still have friends? There's a Congress bill that seemed to be gaining momentum, which is going to ban the leadership of the ANC and possibly give them some form of individual sanctions. What was your purpose there? And does South Africa, in particular the ANC, still have friends to push back against the agenda of the Trump administration?
Between 1986 and 1987, the United States, led by the conservatives, the Republicans, characterized the ANC as a terrorist organization and declared our struggle a terrorist struggle. Oliver Tambo went to the White House and met with leaders, not before the cameras, and explained to the Republicans that they are wrong in their assertion. By the way, Bozeli, who's going to be an ambassador if it's going to happen here in South Africa, sent by Donald Trump, was one of the proponents at that time who was actually pursuing that line, that we are a terrorist organization. Now, it is not the ANC, it is our country that it is said to be involved in a genocide. So we've got to engage with Americans from all pockets of power inside the White House and everybody else, and that is what we're doing, including talking to our friends in the United States who are in the anti-apartheid movement, as you will have seen.
Come on.
Jesse Jackson and everybody else starting to talk.
Oh man. You see now. Thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know what's going on now. This thing is doing some nonsensical things.
There's no genocide here in South Africa. And even ordinary Americans saying that this is madness and all of that. So there are South Africans who were born here in South Africa, who some of them are inside the White House, who carried this thing to the President of the United States. And there are South Africans who are outside the White House, who are in the pockets of the state and others outside.
Like Elon Musk?
Yeah, like Elon Musk and all of that, who said that this. And one of the things that they said is that we are passing laws.
Oh, Lord, what is going on, bro?
That are racial and all of that. So BE they mentioned, affirmative action they mentioned. Why do we need such laws? You've got people like Gary Player, who basically just the other day said that why do you still need triple BE? And when there are checks all over and all of that. This is the person who for the rest of his life have been a beneficiary of a system that oppressed our people with all his golfing skills. I admire the old man. I like him and all of that when as Minister of Sports.
You like racist SG?
No, no, I like.
I mean, he's working
I like this
so hard.
No, I like
to undermine
the democratic
mission.
state.
Yes.
I like the sport that he plays and how he plays it, but it doesn't remove the fact that he is anti-transformation. I won't move quickly to say he's a racist, because that on its own, it's another discussion. But anti-transformation, he is. He has not given himself time to understand that 30 years into democracy, inequality in our country has actually deepened. And if we've got to implement laws, let's take land, which is one thing in terms of amending Section 25 of the Constitution for land redistribution, this country will collapse. If you want to see white people running in their numbers out of this country to United States, redistribute the land. And then this country will turn into rebels like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, Mugabe,
there mustn't be land redistribution.
There will be land redistribution. That struggle, my friend, is with me and you. And they are going to run away from this country because of when we do things with our power and majority, which we don't have right now, and the DA is there to push back that from happening. They are going to run. They are going to take their money and go. There's going to be capital flight and everything. Today, we think we are totally liberated. We are not. Because the power of the economy is not only in the hands of the few. You press one button, what happens in the bond market? This thing will be called Zuma. Reshuffled a minister whom he has made now a chief whip in parliament for weekend special. And ask him a question, Zuma. Zuma, who goes around, call himself a revolutionary, a great leader. He meets Traore, and then all of that is a great leader. Ask him a very important question. Ask him to come to the show. Ask him, why did you reverse the decision of weekend special and went to fetch Pravin Gordhan? Why did you do that? Because you are the most militant, advancing leader of the free, Africa and all of that. Why did you reverse that decision? It's because we are transforming this economy within a capitalist mode of production. And that mode of production is not in favor of the poor. When Mbeki said that South Africa is a country of two worlds, they attacked him. That is mad. This Mbeki they praise now. That is the best president we've ever had. Go to the books and history and read and Google. Mbeki talking about South Africa and the two worlds. A country in one with two worlds in it. Who attacked Thabo Mbeki about that and said that he's actually deranged. They used the word deranged. Yes. And then Jacob Zuma.
But you don't want to be confused as due to being land redistribution cannot be pursued because we are scared white people are going to leave.
No, it must be.
Okay.
The question is, when we get our majority, what are we going to do about it? We did have our majority, 2/3, and we're supposed to advance. The agenda of regime change doesn't arise because of Ramaphosa is the president of the country now and Mbalula and everybody else. It is ever present. It's not going to change. And they will continue with that agenda, and the DA is a mouthpiece, not only, but the stumbling block, and to getting rid of this particular ANC bit by bit. Now, the question is, when we get our majority back, what are we going to do about it?
Will you get it with the DA that
Forget about the land, ladies and gentlemen. As long as the ANC is there, just forget it, bro.
is doing all of this right next to your hip?
We will get it because our people have not gone to the DA and they don't believe in the DA. The DA is not expanding as a party. It has actually saturated. And it has tried everything, including getting a black like me and many others to be at the helm of that particular political party in order to gain the majority. They've used Musi Maimani, they've used everybody, up until they went back to who they are. Because Freedom Front was knocking in the doorstep. For the first time when they tried to erode the base of the black masses of this country, the DA lost numbers. And Helen Zille had to come back on his way out. She had to shut the door and come back. And then Musi Maimani and them were put into the streets. And then that's where it is. So they will never, at best, our people will stay away from us.
He's shocked.
And that is what is the existential threat we are facing. And our people, why will they stay away from us? They will stay away from us because when we are given power, what do we do about it? Do we look like a furniture? Do we represent their interest? So that when we are under attack, they should be with us. If the loaf of bread is going to be 500 rands because of land redistribution, will our people be with us in the streets or on the other side, supporting counter-revolution? That is the fundamental question you must answer. Because as I'm talking to you right now, if the price of...
When people have power, trust me, they just use it to eat money, they just use it to loot, they just use it to do all these things that they want to do. You know, when people have power. It is funny that when people have power, they forget about the things that they promised, and then they just look at themselves. And I believe that that is also for every party or for every political party out there. Trust me. Trust me, guys. Don't trust these guys. Because I can tell you, when power is in their hands, it goes into their heads. They are thinking about their friends, thinking about themselves, thinking about enriching themselves and stuff like that. That's what it is. And I said it before, if you are going to trust these guys, it's try for you.
Because of the policies we pass, is going to change over time to be 500 like Zimbabwe. Where will these people of South Africa run to? Zimbabweans are running to us here. Tina, we are facing the seaport. We've got nowhere to run. Tina, we've got no other country to run to. These masses, our people, if they are not prepared for that struggle, they will rebel. So I am saying, do something. And Mbeki is correct. Former president is correct when he says we're infiltrated. But also counter-revolution knew apho bazawusibamba khona sibancinci khona. Basibambe nge-economy bhuti. That's where it is.
But SG, okay, I hear all of that.
Mbalula mfethu, you guys don't understand. I don't know whether to say you guys are afraid. I don't know where to say you guys. I don't know. Now, like he's saying, what if this thing happens? What if the white people go away and then they leave South Africa with their money? Where will South Africans run to? We will stay here, Baba. What are you talking about? We will stay here. Okay? During apartheid, the people of South Africa, they were here. During apartheid, the people of South Africa, they stayed here. Even though it was difficult, even though it was tough, even though it was so painful, even some of them, they were shot at, they were taking rubber bullets and stuff like that, and they stayed here, my guy. It was not even the economy, it was a fight. They stayed here. We will stay here. The problem with you guys is that you are afraid of taking risks. Okay? You are afraid of taking risks. You are afraid of taking. You can do these things smartly. You can do these things because in the ANC, I don't know, maybe we are hoping too much. In the ANC, we'd like to believe that maybe you guys, you are smarter. You know, you can do things better. But this thing of you always bringing this thing, just like Mrs. Zille does, to say if the black parties come together and they do this, and then the economy will collapse. You are giving us the same thing again. If the land is taken, yeah, the white people will leave, the white people will go. If the land is distributed, and let me tell you something what will happen, okay? Maybe you don't see the other angle, Mr. Mbalula. If the white people take their money and leave, trust me, there will be some other people. It may not be white people, there will be some other people, and even white people, they will see a potential. Even in that environment, they will invest in South Africa. Trust me, they will invest. The problem is we've got these people that has got something on us. Every time we try to move, you guys, you are telling us about them. How are we going to move forward as black people? That's why I hate this thing of black struggle. Black struggle, black struggles, black struggle. We are full of black struggle even when we've got the opportunity to change things, because we are full of black struggle. We always struggle even when the opportunity presents itself to us to change things. That's my problem. You know, I just don't understand sometimes how politicians, it's like they are afraid. It's like they were told that if you do anything like land what, you guys, we will deal with you. We will make sure that we deal with you. Trust me, Mr. Mbalula. When you do that with the land, you do it smartly, okay? Trust me, it's not every white person that will leave. Trust me, never. It's not. Let's make an example of Mr. Traore. Mr. Traore did things rightly, correctly. And when he did it, ladies and gentlemen, some of you, there were people who said, yeah, white people will leave, yeah, they will lose whatever. Traore did it very well. Why can't you guys do it? You've been in government for years, man. And you've got different minds. Traore is doing it alone in there. He's doing it alone. And I'm looking also on the country called Botswana. The president there is doing things there. And you guys, you've been in government for years, but you can't even do one thing, because you are afraid they will take their money. Guys, come on, we cannot behold. Yes, we can't move. And Manjelento, it's mentally. It's no longer physically, it's mentally. South Africans, they were able to take the hit during the struggle, during apartheid. Okay? I believe they can be able to take it also mentally. I believe so. But you guys, because you undermine us, you undermine yourselves, you undermine everyone around here, you think that no one has ideas that can make things better. Man, I don't know. And Mr. Ndlozi is surprised that Mr. Mbalula is speaking the way he's speaking. It's like it's Miss Zille now. He's talking like Miss Zille. They're telling us about the economy will collapse. He's doing the same thing. I said it before. And I think also Mr. Rotendo, actually I remember in one of the podcasts, I think it's Mr. It was Mr. Penwell. He did say if South Africa decides to take the land and then distribute it, and also I think they were talking about without compensation, okay? South Africa will have to be in a place where they are ready to take the hit. That will mean they are ready to take the pain, they are ready to take the struggle, the suffering, and then after that maybe things will come back, okay? That's how you need to be sometimes, guys. Anyway, it's fine. I know some of you will say, you're still young, son. You don't know politics. When I hear what, it's fine. But I can promise you, we will always struggle if we are not going to take drastic actions. We are always going to talk about struggle continue. What is it? I don't know. Continue struggle. And you will be dancing there. It's because when opportunities come before us, we don't use them. And when they get the opportunities, they use them against us even. They go richer and richer and richer, because when we get opportunities, we don't use them. The day they got an opportunity in the GNU, they are using it against you guys. And you want to blame. And what is going on? Yes, I don't understand. You know, it's like we are in a box somewhere that if we move, they will deal with us. If we move, they will deal with us. I don't understand.
Maybe
This
you
thing
do
is
want to
making
say,
me-
then how do we get the land to represent the demographics of South Africa in terms of ownership? With all these
How are we
fears
going
that
to
you are
do
putting, it sounds like you're saying the ANC is in a corner, helpless,
No, we are not-
it
Hey,
doesn't know what to
thank
do.
you,
We are not
Mr.
in a
Ndlozi.
corner. The ANC is a struggling organization, is a fighting organization.
That's what I hate, you guys. You are always telling us that you are struggling. Struggling until when, Mr. Mbalula, man? Struggling until when? Because it cannot be that our generation after generation we are struggling. Generation after generation we are struggling. Ah, man, come on, Mr. Mbalula. You know, guys, I trusted this guy somehow. There was that thing that I have for him, at least, you know. But now that he spoke like this, and I'm like, Mr. Mbalula, what are you saying? What exactly are you saying, my guy? Hi guys, I'm very sorry. Now it proves to me that this thing of struggling, because the NC is always saying we are struggling, we are struggling, we are struggling, we are a struggling organization. What does that mean? So it means that the ANC, it actually strives on struggling. I'm very sorry because it looks like that, it sounds like that, it looks like that, it sounds like that, and it feels like that. It means that you guys, you strive on struggles, you strive on us struggling, and then you show as if like you are going to push the struggle. That's why I do have a problem with the struggle thing. All I'm saying is get the opportunity, or when you get the opportunity, make sure that you use the opportunity to your advantage. Because if they get the opportunity on their side, guess what? They will use it to their advantage. The Oriana people, they proved it to us. They got an opportunity and boom. All of you, when you woke up, there was an Orania. You didn't know what to do because they got an opportunity. But we play as black people, when we get one, we just run ballistic. Hi, guys.
Weapon at the disposal of the masses, of our people.
So-
and therefore, the question is, if the ANC were to be wiped out, like it happened in Grenada with another liberation movement, and all of that, wiped out, which is what they want. Which is what they want. The question is, this NTR we talk about and people don't understand what is it about. It will not be on a reversal. It will mean that our struggle and our hopes are gone. So that's why we can't allow corruption to become a defining feature of the liberation movement. Because we will fall faster than we would have imagined. Because what they said in 1994, except that they said will fall faster, like Mbeki said, they said, we know we'll expose them to these mega resources of the state. They will fight and trip over them, which is what is called tenders. But not the real one will be with us. Let them fight with tenders, 2 billion and all of that, and get corrupt, produce bureaucratic bourgeoisies. They are not even bourgeoisies. These people, you call them tenderpreneurs. They are not. But they are coming out of the system that we have been in charge of. And that is what we must fight decisively. If we don't, this revolution will not just be on reversal, will be annihilated. And this vehicle, the ANC, its disappearance in the political landscape, the key question, will you have another ANC to build, to pursue this particular struggle? It will be very difficult to do that. So that's why we say renew or perish. So we must draw the line.
Yes.
And that is what we need to do.
I'm going to take calls after the headlines, but two things I'd like to think about during the break. The first one is this ANC facing facing local government elections in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Is there a way to recover in these provinces? And then the second one, I'd like to return to the question that we started with initially. Why would Comrade Vuta be scared by Brown Mokgotsi? Let's take the news.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, guys, okay? I don't know what is going on, man. For me, guys, I don't know. When it comes to this renewing thing, like I'm failing to understand what it means when Mr. Mbalula is speaking the way he's speaking, okay? Because I was expecting that, anyway, listen, let me not talk too much. And I'm going to end it here, guys, okay? You can go and watch the whole thing on their channel, which is the ANC, or you can go to the Power FM. I think they've got it over there. And then you can watch the whole thing where he's going to be talking about KwaZulu-Natal and stuff like that, and Mokgotsi. And I've heard him speak about Mokgotsi, so I'm not going to waste my time and listen to him speak about Mokgotsi, because he's going to say, I don't know, this guy, the membership, what. Anyway, thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for liking. At least some of you liked, at least, please, guys, like the videos that I'm posting. I would really appreciate all of that. And if you are a person, maybe you are like, you know what, I just want to put something there in your channel, my guy, maybe via super chats, maybe via membership, maybe via stuff like that, please don't hesitate. You can just go in the comments, and then you can see at the bottom there is a $sign at the bottom where you're supposed to be typing your message or typing your comment, and then you will see a dollar. You click it, and then you can just put something there if you would like to put something in there. Thank you so much, guys. You have a fantastic day, and of course, we are done in this channel. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for you are still going to subscribe and like if you watch after I am done. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And if you watch after I'm done or after the live, you can like the video, you can share, you can do whatever that you need to do. And guess what? Of course we're done. Hey, have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Sharp, fit too.